Okay, it's been a full day since the news came out about Michael Thomas having a major surgery on his ankle. He had a minor surgery before this earlier in the offseason. I'll say this right now. We don't know why it took so long for this surgery to happen.
That's correct.
A lot of people are asking that question. Why did it take so long to do this surgery? Like the whole offseason you had. But what we know, he had the surgery in June. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 4-month recovery period. That's if everything goes right. Okay. So we don't know the exact date in June, but let's assume that it was the middle of June, June 15th.
Correct.
Okay. That would put him back around week 7 of the NFL. Now, that is the best case scenario in our opinion. More likely, it will be week 8, maybe week 9. This obviously significantly impacts Michael Thomas. Let's talk about how it impacts him, the Saints offense, the players around him. Does it help anyone? Does it hurt anyone outside of MT? I'll start personally. Badake, I'm avoiding him in all redraft leagues this year. Generally, like waiting on someone who's recovering from an injury or has a surgery that they're coming back from doesn't really give you the results that you want. I think the mindset is always, oh, but where's the value for this guy? Where's it like, how late could I get him where it becomes a value?
Exactly.
Here's the issue, guys. Like, even if Michael Thomas comes back week 8, week 9, whatever it looks like, I don't think the Michael Thomas owner is going to be confident in even starting him in their lineup. Do you know what I mean?
There's no way. It takes so much time to get back and acclimated into the game after an injury, and especially in this whole offense, it's different. It's changed. Like, he's not going back with his quarterback and Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. He's either going back with Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. So, and that's a whole nother chemistry that he had to build with both of these quarterbacks that he doesn't have time to build now anymore. Yeah. And
won't be there for training camp.
Exactly. He's not going to have all these weeks, all these 4 months that he's going to lose out on chemistry. Sometimes it takes like, first 3 weeks of the season for them to kind of get acclimated. Like, okay, now we have a rhythm.
Now we got a groove. Yeah,
exactly. He's not going to have that anymore. So I completely agree with you. I'm personally avoiding him all across the board.
I feel like, so where does it become a value? That's probably what people might comment or ask. Discord or wherever. I feel like and this is probably harsh, but the 12th round is where I'm now considering him. And I know that sounds insane, but I want to avoid this situation entirely. That's what I'm trying to explain. I don't want to be the guy who has Michael Thomas, who's like looking for trades, who waiting each week. I know last year was a different scenario, but I own Michael Thomas, and I remember every week I thought he was coming back.
Right.
And it's the same injury that he's recovering from. I know he's had surgery and hopefully the problem's been dealt with, but I'm taking a complete avoid approach. Now in redraft, he's my wide receiver 45. He's your wide receiver
42. Sorry, 42.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think when it came down to it, because we've had a full day to think about this, we didn't want to do an instant reaction. There's just so many players that I want for the first 8 weeks, over waiting on Michael Thomas. I think the line is drawn. Let me see. The line is drawn with like a Jalen Waddle, some of these rookies that are coming in, a Curtis Samuel, Laviska Shenault, Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy, Sutton, Juju. I think even Rondale Moore is a question for me. It's like all these players that have high upsides that their value could be much higher, in the first 8 weeks of the season. Whereas Michael Thomas, we don't even know if people are going to be confident to start him on week 8 or 9.
No idea. If I'm a Michael Thomas owner and I get to that point where Michael Thomas is, hey, I'm healthy, I'm ready to come back, I'm not starting him. You have to wait to see what's going to happen. You have to kind of get a feel for what he's going to bring to your team in a fantasy perspective, not on the field like an NFL perspective, but for a fantasy perspective. I completely agree with you. I'm taking a Laviska, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, a Darnell Mooney, a Jarvis Landry over a Michael Thomas, because I know these guys are going to give me points early in the season. And if they do start off on the rough patch, I know that they're building chemistry. I know they're on the field. They're improving week in and week out. And hoping that, the offenses and the offensive coordinator and the head coach are trying to get these guys targets. So unlike Michael Thomas,
I imagine that Michael Thomas will be someone on our trade for candidates around week 8 or 9.
100%.
Because I think you can get him for a much cheaper player where, yes, we think he will be valuable when he's 100% healthy. When will that happen? But if you're looking for where's the value now for Michael Thomas, it's probably in the trade market. And it's probably around the first week that he comes back. You could probably get him for pretty cheap, and it would be a low risk, high reward type scenario. In Dynasty, quickly, let's not dwell on this too much.
He has a potential out on his contract as well. He does have, I think, 2 or 3 more years on his contract. What happens there? Do they
totally?
Keep
what
him?
if he doesn't come back and play well this year? Like, what could that look like for his contract status?
Exactly, and then they can have the opportunity to trade him out. And historically, we know that once somebody gets traded, it's never the best scenario.
Or even cut him.
Exactly. So this could be the start of the downhill train. Hey, you need to get rid of Michael Thomas.
Of something new.
100%, man.
All right, let's talk about everyone else on this Saints team. Okay, firstly, let's talk about who does this help. I think we've heard all over the internet, Alvin Kamara. Oh my God, RB1 season for Alvin Kamara. So here's the thing. He's been our consensus RB3 in redraft leagues.
Correct.
That hasn't changed. He's still our RB3, but I don't think it necessarily helps him. I think he sees more volume in the passing game, but this Saints offense is going to be worse off. There will be less scoring opportunities, less first downs, less opportunities to move the ball through the air. So while it will give him more targets, it will hurt the Saints offense.
I completely agree. And, with Michael Thomas off the field, who's the next guy up? Trautman Smith, Callaway. I'm not excited about any of these guys.
Yeah.
Trying to get them at their value, or now I know a lot of people are projecting them a lot higher and they're moving up in their rankings. Yeah. But I personally couldn't move any of these wide receivers at least like 2 to 3 spots more. That's the best I can do.
So
I'm not
think
saying that.
The one scenario that comes to mind is a best ball draft. I think those guys like the Trautman Smith, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, those guys in a best ball draft become much more interesting because you will have those boom or bust weeks. What's more important is, guys, all three of those wide receivers are good complementary wide receivers.
Correct.
But none of them have the skill set to be a target monster on any team. No head coach is going to look at their skill set and say, "Ooh, we need to get the ball to these guys 10 times a game." However, there is a player. So just to recap, doesn't hurt or help Alvin Kamara. We're not on the who's the wide receiver train. But I think we can agree the one person that absolutely does help is Adam Trautman.
No doubt about it.
A guy we were already excited about, right? The big Trout, the Trautman. We're already excited about him. But he seems to be the more natural fit to get more targets. Bigger body, has a really nice route tree, plays mostly over the middle of the field. It feels like, to me, Adam Trautman is the guy moving up most of my rankings compared to anyone else.
Yeah, 100%. And, somebody like an Adam Trautman coming in, obviously Jared Cook was the ghost of Jared Cook was there last year. He didn't get the great opportunity to kind of see what he can do. But what do we know? Once again, about Jameis Winston, if he does become the starter, he can make. Yeah. He loves the tight end position. He has made multiple tight ends fantasy relevant, and this could be Adam Troutman's year. This could be the guy that can be the safety blanket for Jameis Winston. A Taysom Hill, that's a whole different conversation. But I love Trautman. I love him. He's moved up in my ranking. He is now my tight end 12. He moved up 4 or 5 spots. He's right in between there for me. A Logan Thomas, in my personal opinion. I think I might take a chance on a Trautman than a Logan Thomas, but don't quote me.
For me, the conversation was more like, okay, now I'm trying to figure out, do I want Adam Trautman or Hunter Henry? Adam Trautman or Mike Gesicki? That's kind of my conversation there. So I definitely think it's a fair conversation. He becomes a great late round tight end to target. He's my tight end 12 as well, and that's across both formats, Dynasty and Redraft. So who does this hurt? It obviously hurts the Saints offense in general. It hurts this Saints team. This Saints team has been through the blender for the past year. The Drew Brees injury. I mean, the last 4 years have been real rough. The Minnesota Miracle, Drew Brees injury, Michael Thomas injury. Now this offseason, they've lost tons and tons of veterans to the free agency market. It hurts the Saints team as a whole. This team is not in a good spot, but it also hurts Jameis or Taysom, right? Losing a star wide receiver like Michael Thomas is going to hurt a quarterback who's coming in to try and fill some pretty big shoes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The number one guy that Michael Thomas was a safety blanket for both of these guys, Taysom and Jameis. Now he's no longer there. They're going to have to get chemistry once again with any of these wide receivers, a Callaway, a Harris, or a Smith. Do they have the chemistry? What's the chemistry look like? That's why, yes, they're going to rely a lot on Alvin Kamara in the run, and we believe Adam Trautman is going to have a good dose. But this offense, man,
I just want to throw something out there.
Crumbles.
Does this potentially help Latavius Murray's stock in a redraft league?
Look,
I think it could. That might be the biggest sleeper now to consider in your redraft leagues.
Can Alvin Kamara line up on the outside and Latavius Murray be the back?
Like,
is that a possibility?
For some plays.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Is that like a possibility now?
Could happen. Yeah, I mean, Latavius Murray was a great spellback. Maybe, Sean Payton getting creative. Maybe Latavius Murray's a guy to target with like one of your last picks in a redraft league.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wanted to take some time, think about this. Comment down below. What do you think about the situation? Do you agree with something we said? Do you think what we said was stupid? That's okay. A lot of people do.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.